I appreciate that a lot of the fandom is super invested in Azris and are hoping for them to get together over Azriel and Lane or any of the other redheads being thrown at Azriel. And Eris does not necessarily have a lot of other shipping options right now, except, or at least shipping options that matter, except for Morgan, which I don't want at all. But I'm just too married to the ships that I have in my head for them. Like, Elriel is my thing. I don't know how I could ship Azris like at the same time. I don't know how to do that because I'm like, where's Elaine? What's going on here? What happened to them? Here's a funny story about my devotion to Elriel that ended up leading to some interesting creative directions that I went in last year when it came to fanfic. I was given a challenge to write a threesome with these three characters because that's kind of like a thing because Sarah wrote this three-way and we never got to see it and there's a lot of like debate and conjecture about it. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it because my friends were basically just like, you would never, ever, ever be able to write anything without Elriel in it. My Neris fanfic has Elriel in it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'll show you. But I had to come up with a like reasoning why Elaine was not an option for Azriel here. So I made it her to Lucian, and there's backstory there that I know but I haven't written yet. So I was like, I needed to create that framework in my head to make this make sense. And it works. It makes sense. I have original characters that are based off of this AU, but that was my devotion to Elriel at the time. As for Eris, I just said I write an Eris fanfic. This is my Eris ship of choice. Do I think it'll ever happen? No. Sarah is too married to the idea of Nessian, and the propaganda that Cassian is a dude that is worth something is a little bit too strong on the fandom right now. I don't see Nesta leaving Cassian for Eris and retaining the goodwill that she's gotten from the mainstream fans. I think that they would turn on her like immediately. Do I want this? I do, actually. I do think that this would be really, really cool. But I know rationally it's not happening. So all I'm hoping for Nesta realistically is that Cassian starts to treat her like she actually deserves. That being said, Azris is not the most ridiculous redhead that's been thrown at Azriel in the mainstream ship war conversation. Bryce Real is a thing. And Bryce Real is actually a serious thing now, because I remember a couple of years ago, if you said that you shipped Bryce Real, you got laughed out of every conversation. Now it's like Bryce Real has more legitimacy than Gwyn Real in some spaces. I feel like shipping these two would have been unheard of considering that Bryce has an endgame mate for a lot of reasons. But I think this ship war has been sitting and percolating online for a little bit too long now. People got a little bit weird, and now we realized that Bryce Real is not actually that weird after all. But we're talking about Azris right now. I think the appeal here, especially over something like Bryce Real or Gwyn Real, is that these two have had emotionally charged conversations where they were both emotional about it. I think there's also a lot to be said about Azriel and Eris having a past connection, because I feel like with all of the other people that Azriel in particular is shipped with, and Eris too, because like with Nesta and all of that, they are new people to their lives, whereas Azriel and Eris have known each other for a very long time. And I also think that if somehow we ended up getting a story with Azriel and Eris and they do get together, which I don't think that'll happen because that would mean getting two men together, and Sarah does write pretty heteronormatively. I would be surprised if Azris became a thing immediately. I think we would need to dispel the Elriel of it all, the Gwyn Real of it all, I guess. Like, I don't think Azris can be... Azris might be a thing, I don't know, but I feel like it's not going to be a thing right now. I just don't think we're going to have time. I think at the earliest, we'll get hints of it in January, but we're not seeing a whiff of it in October. And I get how that sucks, because this is like one of the only viable ships in the ACOTAR ship war discussion that has even a little bit of traction, just based on what is in the text. But that doesn't mean that we need to pin all of our hopes and dreams on this one gay ship. I think there are other ships that we could be talking about in the ACOTAR online, terminally online space. And in a world where Azris is not happening, which I think is the world that we're living in, I think that we should be talking about other more interesting guy ships, and I think this is the prime example of it. Long live Jamlin. We should always ship people who are foils, who freed the slaves. Jurian is in the Band of Exiles with Lucian. He could very easily be reintroduced to Tamlin. They were out in the woods that one time in Akawar. What the fuck were they doing out there? We have no way of knowing. I think this would be a super interesting story that would come super out of left field, and I think that it would make me so exceedingly happy if it happened, because I'm pretty sure I invented this ship, and if it does happen, I don't think that it will, but if it does, I want my royalties, Sarah. I'll send you my address.